9 assists tonight. So you think he'll be dishing?
I think he's going to have to because the focus is going to be so much on him defensively. He's got to trust the pass, and his teammates have to start making shots. Aaron Wiggins was talking about you, Isaiah Joe, Jared McCain. You guys have got to hit these shots because, as you see right here, that defense is going to be swarming all around the two-time MVP.
Switching to the Spurs, why do you think Stephon Castle also has 7 or more assists?
Because that's what he's been doing in this series. And by the way, that's the best play in basketball. Throw it up to Wemby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you get a lot of assists. Just throw it at the rim. As we're showing here, this is not Magic Johnson type stuff, but also knocking down threes. He's averaged 8 assists per game in this series. He's done a really good job on the defensive end, but also in dishing.
Wrong question, Grin. He should be asking, should he have 7 or more turnovers?
Well, he's got to try not to do that.
Take the under.
How about Wemby, 26 points? You're going over.
Yeah, this seems easy. He's averaging 30 in the series. He had 74 points in the 2 wins. If they're going to win, he's got to score. And they've had a hard time slowing him down, as you can see. If he knocks down a couple of threes, that seems to get him going. But him attacking the rim is almost impossible to stop, including these half-court shots, by the way.
So if you like these picks, they're a parlay. SGA over 9 assists, Castle over 7, Wembanyama over 26 points. It's a parlay at DraftKings Sportsbook. The odds are plus 465. As we get set for this game tonight, a question just jumped into my head. Wendy, I'll give you the first crack at this, but I want everyone in on this. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, they win the championship last year. We talk about how young they are, all of that, and we have any number of conversations about how this is the beginning of a dynasty. And here we are a year later, and it feels like that all hangs in the balance tonight. You've got SGA, who was the 2-time defending MVP now, and, you know, the playoffs don't count in the MVP. So let's not have a debate now over whether this postseason means Wembanyama should have won it. The point is, it's his league until it's taken away from him, but it could be taken away tonight. Wendy, do you feel like that kind of pressure exists for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and OKC in this home Game 5 tonight?
Well, let me just say that I don't believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder are ever desperate. They have an incredibly deep team. They have the 2-time MVP. They have a great home court advantage. They have incredible depth. They have very good coaching. So I don't think that they're desperate. However, this is I do not think that you want to give Victor Wembanyama 2 chances to close you out. And so this is a vitally important game for them. But look, there's a reason why we haven't had back-to-back champions since the Warriors, when they had 2 MVPs in their prime on their roster, and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. It is difficult to win back-to-back titles for all of the reasons that we know about basketball. And right now the Thunder are dealing with one of those difficulties, which is health to their softest position.
Look, when you're the 2-time MVP, back-to-back years, it's your league, right? I mean, in that moment, whatever anyone thinks of him, whatever people with the flopping and all of this, which I see, and I'm not dismissing, but at the end of the day, it's his league right now. That changes if Victor Wembanyama beats them, right? It becomes Wembanyama's league if he beats them.
If he wins a championship, if he doesn't win a championship, maybe it becomes Jalen Brunson's league. I mean,
okay, but either way,
I hear what you're saying.
Either way,
face of the
it
league.
feels like that's
Wemby.
tonight, right? It feels like that's tonight. It's SGA and Wembanyama, and I know that this doesn't decide the series, but boy, this feels like a big game for the Thunder.
I think sometimes it's okay for it to be that macro, Greeny. I do like SGA versus Wemby, and I'll say this about your desperation question. OKC should be desperate, right? Like, you're not the team from last year. This is a different team. This is a new opportunity to get a new championship. And the only way you beat a team like the Spurs is to match their intensity. And the Spurs' intensity of that youth is desperation. So I think you get a chance to see tonight, when you make mention of guys making shots, Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, Jared McCain,
others.
You're not making mention of the names like A.J. Mitchell. You're not making mention of like J-Dub. So you have other players that are bumped up in the rotation that now need to step up to prove to see if that depth is a real thing when it's crunch time.
Exactly that. And to me, again, I think what Greeny's saying is absolutely true. And exactly how I'm feeling watching this game tonight is a loss for the Thunder could all of a sudden put a line where we thought was going to be a wide open run for the next dynasty because we haven't had a repeat champion. And if they get knocked out, or at least now they're down 3-2 going back on the road, really with their backs to the wall, and that will be a desperation moment for them. Victor Wembanyama seems to be in that place where he's ready to now take over the league.
Yeah, it's fully arrived. I have a little bit of a conundrum in my head because we understand that the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not fully healthy. A.J. Mitchell, J-Dub, their top out of the, 3 creators, those are the top 2 right there, apart from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. When I look at this matchup, I'm like, every team that has played in the postseason, We've shown that they can't do it by themselves with their star player. I feel like the exception is San Antonio because their star player is 7'5", 7'6". He's averaging 30, 13, 4, and 3 on 53 and 40, 43. He's shooting 43 from 3.
Crazy.
The Spurs are supposed to be right now ahead of schedule, but it feels like they're seizing the moment. And so it's going to be hard, despite being a back-to-back MVP, being Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6'6", getting coverage in double teams or single, getting everyone to get. It's not an easy path, but it is required because this is a squad that understands they can't go back on the road down.
Super quick.
Plus for Wemby, the plus-minus point difference.
Radio
party
City
at the
Music Hall,
Garden.
by the way, sold out
Look at this. It's
for a
insane.
watch party.
That's what's going on here. All right, we'll have much more on the Knicks as we go forward. The question is, who is it they will play as they now advance to the NBA Finals, which will begin next week? Well, we'll find out beginning tonight. Pivotal Game 5 in OKC after Wemby and the Spurs blew out the Thunder to tie it up at 2 games each. Wemby with 33 in Game 4. He'll need to carry that over if the Spurs hope to steal back home court advantage here. It's been an interesting, and by interesting I mean kind of weird series so far. 2-2. OKC has home court advantage. Wendy, how do you see the advantage in the series right now going to Game 5?
Well, obviously, Oklahoma City is at home. They have been brilliant on their home court the last 2 playoff runs, and they've also been excellent problem solvers. When they've had challenges in the playoffs the last couple of years, they have always bounced back. This time, however, their challenge is to fix their offense because they're missing their offensive creators outside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A.J. Mitchell will be out tonight with a calf injury. And look, calf strains, Greeny, are typically measured in weeks. This is late in the season. You don't know, but I don't know if they're going to get him back in this series. Jalen Williams, they have had to show their hand a little bit, and they've stopped saying hamstring soreness. They have now changed it to hamstring strain. That will be the 4th different hamstring strain he's experienced this year. But he is questionable, and he did play a little bit earlier, after the injury, so he's closer. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is shooting under 40% in this series. 2 lead guards with him are injured. This is a problem for the home team tonight.
And another problem that they have goes by the name of Victor Wembanyama, and he's extraordinarily tall.
And the 2 wins, he has 75 points that the Spurs have, right? And I said this 3 months ago on this show, is that if you're Mark Daigneault, like, this is what you're looking at. This is what keeps you up at night as a head coach, that you have this monster in your conference. And it's a good thing they got that championship last year because he's going to be in the way of a lot of their attempts at more success in the West. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Maybe it's sooner than anyone expected, but there's no question when you watch his performances in the biggest stage he's ever played on in the NBA, he's ready for it now. And if you're the Thunder, what's your answer? Because it doesn't seem like they have one.
Janae, we haven't had you here in a while. What's your sense right now, big picture on the series where it stands?
You mentioned monster in your conference. This is a monster for the league for the years to come. You have someone that is a future MVP learning his star power in real time on the fly in Victor Wembanyama. This leads me to the conclusion that SGA has no choice but to go nuclear. He has to take the shots. It's going to be difficult. A.J. Mitchell, J-Dub, the secondary and tertiary, I know that's third, creators, right, on a squad. His only choice is to do bad all by himself. And we've seen him do it. He did it last year in the NBA Finals. Remember, the Pacers were the hottest offense, and then he realized, I have to shoot the ball 20 times in the first half to be aggressive, for my team to play aggressive, for it to be contagious. We saw him do it versus the Phoenix Suns. Down J-Dub, he comes in, drops 40, and then the shots look better for his teammates. But I'll say this, he's the back-to-back MVP. It's not going to be easy. 14 out of his 15 shots, where he was 6 for 15, were contested. He was double-teamed 11 times. He is the man with the trophy, and he will have to play like it.
Greatness is never easy. And both you and Wendy made mention of the problem for us. No, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity
for SGA?
For SGA. You're at home, defending world champions. You're down 2 ball handlers. This is when the greatest players grab on that mantle and say, no, okay, it's time. And what have all the conversations been about whether it's him flailing into the free throw line, all that stuff does not matter. It matters about this moment. And I know it's never one player versus 5, but we all have to talk about the best players in the game of basketball. Can they elevate their level of play and the players around them in the biggest moments? And this is a massive moment for SGA. And that's okay to say.
Wendy.
Yeah, so the big thing with with this challenge is that the Area 51, what they call Area 51, that's Stefan Castle as the primary defender. He is one of the strongest perimeter defenders in the league already, just in his third season. And then you have the backline defender of the 7'5" guy, who's the unanimous defensive player of the year. This is why he's only shooting 39%. This is a guy who shot 55% in the regular season. Okay, and the big adjustment that the Spurs made between between games 3 and 4 is they stuck to the Oklahoma City shooters. The Oklahoma City shooters were killing them from outside. Now Shea is going to have to do it in a more heads-up situation. He's not going to have the shooters necessarily unless he breaks that strategy.
You're shaking your head because he's
because
not really
I know it's practical and I know it's realistic, but like, what do we say about Kenny Atkinson? At some point, you're like, I don't want to hear it. It's game time, yo. It's game time.
But it's hard.
Of course it's hard.
He's getting double teamed, and when he breaks the double team, he's got probably.
But they're not double teaming anymore because they're going under those ball screens. It's one-on-one defense.
The best situation you can have is a mix and match.
There's
right?
also no way in the world that he's only 7'5". That guy is way more than 7'5". Every time I watch him play, he gets taller. I'm positive going into tonight's game, he's 7'8". All right, the question is, which of the two teams out west should the Knicks be hoping to